All right, we'll get started here, guys, girls. Um, Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another DMAU class. Today we have Will Sims from Oasis Water Coolers. He'll be presenting about water coolers and the water quality benefits of it. Yeah, this is an ASPE CEU course, so at the end of the class, I'll email you your ASPE CEU certificate. And if you have any questions, please use the chat feature, and we'll answer each in turn at the end of the class. So yeah, without any further delay, I'll pass this on to Mr. Will Sims. Sorry. See this.
Awesome, everybody. Appreciate you guys getting on here today. I'm going to be talking about solutions for a post-COVID world. Again, I'm Will Sims with Oasis International, and at the end, please feel free to have any questions. Leave it open for some talks on there. So again, appreciate your guys' time. A little bit of a background on who we are. Oasis was purchased by Culligan in 2020 in January. So we are underneath the new Culligan umbrella. We've been in business for just now over 112 years. Our brand is focused again with Culligan and with our international family. We're focused on the water delivery, and our new part on there is that we know water. So I'll be getting into some of our features and benefits and some of the solutions that are out in the market out there that we're able to offer, not only for you, but also for your guys' end users. So what's going to be qualifying today for you guys? You guys are going to be getting your CEU on this at the end. Just kind of going over the program evaluation. You guys will be required to complete the program evaluation on here. Just the same stuff that you guys deal with on any of these chapters that you guys do. So current situation. So we all live right now in the pandemic world. Things are getting better, but also things are saying they're getting worse. So as a result of this, during the COVID pandemic, you guys will see trash bags over the bubblers, units being shut off, caution tape over them. This was going across schools, healthcare facilities, everything you name it. Not everybody wants to touch a bubbler anymore. With this going forward, we have solutions on our end to combat that I think a lot of people have started to pick up on and realize that this is a good solution that we're able to offer. But giving a look at on here, the grime, the stuff that builds up in these things, especially when school was back in and these bubblers were turned off, people were pouring stuff down the drains. There's protocols on how to flush the systems out, not just with ours, but our competitors. So there's steps that you'll have to take on here for the measures to be able to get the coolers actually up and running, but also have solutions as well, depending on where you are, what school districts want to rip these things off the walls and just have bottle fillers. We'll get into more in depth with that. So the plumbing code for drinking fountains, I'm sure you guys know, one drinking fountain per 100 people. It's on the section on 410 on here for the details. I'll get into why, certain areas that do have 100 people or more, to have more drinking fountains out there. As you will see on this next slide, this was taken in Atlanta, Georgia, where you could see people are standing in line waiting for one drinking fountain on one end of the airport. As the next person or the 5th to 10th person comes in, the water part on there for the chill tank gives out 8 gallons of chilled water. They're waiting in line, and usually the last person won't have the access of the cold drinking water. So having the 1 per 100, we like to push, and I like to push to have either surface mount bottle fillers within certain areas that there's more than just one And then you have to walk another block down for another section of the water fountains down there to be able to get your guys' water. And we have other things and solutions too. I'll get into more details on that we'll be able to offer. Another big current situation on here is going to be that people are still using water bottles in schools. I can't tell you amount of handful of people that I deal with that I've called on schools, I've reached out and had conversations on that are still providing water bottles, cold water bottles to their students. I did a school up north here in Ohio where they purchased their bottle fillers and their water coolers, but certain schools only got one and they're still providing water bottles. So as you look on here, the bottled water is not the answer. Recent studies of 11 brands across 9 different countries found that 325 plastic particles per liter. So they're getting the plastic that's out there that's on our units and our competitors' units shows how many bottles of water you guys are saving, and they're spending the money ordering pallets, getting these things in and still passing these out to their students is not the answer today. This is where we try to educate, try to reach out to the right people and talk about why they should put in the units inside and be able to have those counts. As you know, a lot of students are bringing in those hydro flasks. They're also bringing in those Yeti cups where they're able to fill up their own water. A lot of school districts that I have worked with, the beginning of the year, they were passing out their school brand of their bottles, and students still have access to get those or cups that are pushed on the side. So there's ways around it that is we can educate our end users on about eliminating the actual bottle of water that's out there and converting them over to units where it can show not only what they're saving on the actual plastic parts, but also to the money that they will be saving from switching to that. So current specifications that are out there, we have wall mount combo units. We have wall mount split levels, singles, and retrofit bottle fillers. Retrofit bottle fillers I want to touch on where they can be retrofit not only onto an Oasis unit, but it can also be retrofit on our competitors' units. We have spec sheets, install instructions on how that will how that works and how the install goes on. We also offer the split levels, which is like your bird baths. Still have the old cuspidor units that are out there as well. So we have a list of things that from back in the 80s that we were making that we can still produce today, parts and things that we can still get out on our units, but really just showing what other options that are out there and what equals that Oasis is out in the market. And this will be the one that I ask you guys on with being the engineers. Is this up to code? I have some schools that are down in Georgia that my other colleagues are on down there have these installed. Here in Cincinnati, these are installed. I've seen these in Columbus. I've also seen these up in Cleveland. My big question on this is this up to code? I've seen how they've had these things set up where the units are split level and they're shooting across one side to the other unit. I don't know. I've asked the question and I get mixed answers as that these are up to code, and I get answers that these are not up to code. So I definitely would love to know towards the end on here what your guys' thoughts are on this. I know it has their piece for the water to come, but there's a leakage sometimes to these things, and also damage that could happen to the units that they don't account for. So be very curious to know what this would be on there. If any of you guys send something in on writing, or we kind of talk live at the end.
Yeah, feel free to unmute if you want to chime in on this one.
So bottle filler options. We have the electronic retrofit, as I talked about, that can go over our competitors' unit. We also have our touch-free combo units with our touchless parts split level. One thing that's unique about Oasis on their split level, that it can be interchangeable from high to low. With that, and I'll talk more about our mechanical cartridge on here as well, where our competitor has to have power going to both of the units plus their bottle filler. On ours, the dummy side unit just has the water line that gets connected to the compressor, which then gives the chilled water. But on ours, we're able to provide the high and low on it. Obviously, with this, the bottle filler would go on the low for ADA compliant. And to your bottom left, which is our surface mount unit, this one's a very unique one. I have done installs and have suggested with new school builds to put these inside locker rooms, bathrooms, just outside of the bathrooms, where they don't want to have the unit. And they want to have a chill tank hooked up, where with our chillers, you can put them inside the wall, inside the ceiling. So it gives them the chilled water, but without actually having the bottom half of the unit and with the bubbler. So this could be in certain areas where new builds or old builds that are out there where you guys need to have more room, more space. This would be an option, especially where a school that has a lot of bottle fillers, not bottle fillers, I'm sorry, their own like hydro flask, Yeti cups that they bring in. This would be an option to be able to talk with them on, especially within gymnasiums. I'm seeing a lot of a push for these in there as they already bring their own cups to come in and drink with. The next two on there are going to be your fully recessed units. That's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be where the actual chiller part is going to be underneath, where you're able to access your, this will be having cold water. You guys can get this without a chiller. It still have the front grill to it, but this is just for areas like airports, hospitals, where they'll have these. This is kind of what you kind of think of on. As you see in here, you have 3 different brands. You have Halsey, you have LK, and then you also have Oasis. As I talked about, the Oasis can be retrofit on the LK unit. Certain Halsey models we can, depending on the year and which make and model that they have on theirs. But it's kind of showing you where a lot of people or a lot of end users purchase their units. They don't standardize just to one brand, and this is where I come in, and we come in as Oasis as an educational part to standardize these units. And some places that have done the COVID buys, where that is our competitors, we're able to then offer, hey, if there's no bottle fillers to it, that we can offer that extension or that package to them on there. I'll get into a really neat feature that Oasis offers on their bottle filler that makes it a lot better for an end user to work on or change the filters in those. So pressurizing the tank. Our coolers come pressurized, but you can get them without being pressurized, or if we're hooking up a bottle filler to our competitor. So as you can see, you have the incoming water with the inline strainer. I always tell people on our inline strainer, do not cut or remove that. That's where debris will come in, and we have a big sticker that's on the side that says do not remove. And if it does, I have come encounters with quite a few jobs where they've pulled the inline strainer out, which is causing the debris that gets into the solenoid, which then can cause a leakage, either coming through the bubbler or the actual solenoid part, especially on our SBF, which is going to be the sports push bottle filler. So you go into your cold tank. You obviously have your push valve for your solenoid regulator, and then you have your cold tank outlet. And then as you can see where it goes into the bubbler with the new plumbing and the bottle filler, you'll have that part go into the bubbler, which then the other line coming from the cold tank in out the inlet. Then when you have a filter added into our bottle filler, as I'll get into more details on, that's where you again will ride the actual water part line in that from the cold tank inlet into the bottle filler or to the filter, which then will come out of the strainer into the actual bottle filler. I'd like to talk about things that Oasis has done by working with their contractors, and this is where they've come up with Contractor's Choice. As you see on the far left, you're going to see where there is a metal bracket in the middle. We have moved some things around inside here, so guys working on this or gals working on this, don't cut their hands up. That was a big thing, not only from us, but our rest of our competitors, of how, you know, it's already tight enough inside these units that, you know, these guys and gals are slicing their hands. So with this on here, we've removed the front bar. We have done a little bit of adjustment to the front frame. And then by adding, and we also added more space inside, so you guys have a little bit easier access and be able to have access to get inside the actual unit. So we listen to our end users and contractors with this, and with all the new builds, I believe from 2018 and up, this is standardized on all water coolers for Oasis. So troubleshooting and all that with our tech support, all those things are very readily available that we're able to help with on there. And then also diagrams and things on how to access and work on our stuff is all there too as well. So going into our mechanical cartridge, unlike our competitor, if our unit or power goes out, you're still able to access water. It's not going to be cold unless, you know, you're the first one there to get the cold water out of the chill tank, but you're able to still have access to the water. And this is when I talked about on our split level units where our dummy side does not need to have power to it. The only power that comes out of it when you have a combo unit with the split level is going to be the bottle filler, and the actual unit where all the electronics is going to need the power. On our competitors, you're going to have a cord going from the dummy side and also the mechanical side as well, and the bottle filler. So we like to talk about how we can alleviate all the cluster with the cords, which I have a photo on here as well to show that we do see out in the field because of the power that they need to have to there. So again, with this, we're able to offer water without actually having to have power to it. And a story behind this is we had a gal that used to work with us when I first started, that they did a study in Atlanta, Georgia, where they had storms that came through. There was a power that went out, and they had our competitor's brand in there. And they weren't able to have you know, access to the water there. So we talked with them about you know, putting ours in with the mechanical cartridge on there, and now our units are in standardized into the airports. So that's a big thing to have, especially when you're talking with your schools or end users. Is that this is a plus, because, you know, storms are brewing, weather's changing, especially, the climate and stuff that we're in today. We're seeing a lot more of that happening. So I like to talk with my end users on this, just to give them a little bit of knowledge on it, but also to be able to provide them something that's going to benefit them in the long run. Surface mounted systems. We have our bottle filler replacements that are at a higher unit. Great solutions for many applicants. On these on here, we're able to customize. As you can see on the bottom right, we took a standard bird bath unit, bowl unit on there, and we added a bottle filler to it. This was a request that happened, I believe, in Georgia, and that we were able to retrofit for on here. I've gotten some requests in my market on these as well, but where they have had these units installed, previous before COVID has happened, these are now options that we're able to offer. Installation on these things, especially with adding a filter through the bottle filler, that's an easy install for. And then what we'd like to talk real good on ourselves is our flexible drain options that we're able to provide. So we got a wide range of areas that we're able to offer good things on our end that will be beneficial for your end users. Now I want to get into our new stuff, which is going to be a conversion kits. We have 3 models for this. As you can see on the left, on the left-hand side, you're going to have two units that are split levels. And then on the right, the top tray with the bubbler has been removed. On our first option, we're able to use our competitors, which is going to be an EZ or an LZ, or our PG series up from 2005 and up. On ours, we're able to remove the top tray with the bubbler and convert it over to a bottle filler. With this, we can still use the external guts in the bottom half. We're able to eliminate the filter in our competitor's part and filter all of that through our bottle filler. On this, there's an easy access point that's going to be on the side of the unit that has 2 screws, wide opening inside there to be able to put your filter. As I said, we're using the external guts down in the bottom half, so you're able to use the chill tank down there to filter, or not filter, but to chill the water, and then that will go through our filter in there, which then will give the chilled water through the bottle filler. On that, with the filter on there, we have steps on there for pressurizing the tank for theirs on that. So installation of those things are going to be through our website or through our tech support on there. But this gives you the end user options now on this if they've already done installs on these units, during COVID in the last 2 years. Our third option on this is going to be our completed kit, meaning that you're able to take off ours and our competitors off the wall and put a new one on, and that's where you will get the warranty for the components and then the warranty for your electronic parts through the bottle filler. So 3 options we're able to offer. Schools are eating this up. All 3 competitors have a similar design of this. This will give you about 6 inches of space that you'll save by converting over on the bottle fill. I've dealt with large school districts on here that have at least put a couple of these in each of their floors or a couple in each of the schools. But this is again another option to be able to provide on this, and we can get more details out there who's interested in. Just like I said, we have our competitors on here as well, things that we can offer on here. So new construction or retrofit, there'll be be ideal for. And then also, again, with the Oasis part, the filter is in the housing. So that's what we like to really push and educate on, is how easy and time it is for the filtration part on the unit. Rough ends. This is another big one that I like to talk about. So with Oasis, on their rough ends, we're able to remove a competitor's unit off the wall and do a hook and play. So without moving the water line and the drain, we're able to take ours and put over, which will save the end user time and money for having the universal rough-in on the wall, which will then eliminate a lot of their cosmetic work that they're going to have. What's the difference on the back of it is that with our units, we have a larger opening than our competitor does, which gives us more of an advantage on having a larger back opening, so we can cover up those holes in the back. So this is going to be really big, especially with schools where they're limited on budget, where they're able to get their coolers. But to sit in and have the brick wall, to have the walls removed, or not removed, but have fixtures and stuff moved around. This right here will save them some time and money on their end. This is another question that I'd like to have at the end or in the notes with some of the engineers on here. Is this code compliance? Is this OSHA? I say no. My guys, my engineer guys at my work say no. We find these in our competitors where they have their 3 cords that they have for the power that goes to their units that they have. They bundle up inside of their actual units. If there's a water break that comes through, that can go right into the electrical. I see this a lot. I see where they stuff these things in the side. I'm curious on my end, is this compliance? But definitely want to hear some of your guys' thoughts at the end with this. Definitely, help me out with my knowledge on this. Something new and exciting that's coming to Oasis sometime in Q3, the beginning of Q4, is a new redesign to the bottle filler. Larger alcove, larger opening. Still going to have the same features and benefits that we're able to offer. I'll get more into detail about our tilt and tether, where we can have the actual filter in our bottle filler on the next couple slides. But wanted to give just show about 3 of these things on here that we're having our new facelifts on, and this will be across the board with Oasis. On your left, I'll get into more details on which is going to be a freestanding bottle filler, your recess mount in the middle, and then also your everyday standard AAA items, which will have your cooler and bottle filler combo. Now getting into filters. We are able to offer our filters in the bottom half of our units. And we're also able to offer our filters, which will be a VersaFilter 2, which is a 3,000 gallon, and then a VersaFilter 3 that is new and exclusive to Oasis, which is a 4,750. So with our filters, we are NSF certified. We're also, we can get these factory installed on the units. We're actually working on having codes updated in our system where the end user can purchase these already installed with those on the ones that are not standardized, or the ones that are not factory installed already. With that, our filters are quarter turn, which is the shutoff valve, which is a plus. It makes it easy for the end user, so they don't have to turn off the water and have a bucket to catch the water that's leaking out. So like I said, within the filters inside of the actual bottle filler, we're able to offer a 3,000 and also a 4,750. The 4,750 is going to be more ideal, especially with universities and schools that change the filters maybe twice a year. But at least if they do it once, they're going to get that extended life on there. So that's where I like to educate and show where it's going to be beneficial for them on that for a higher capacity. And then just talking about the NSF 42, and then the NSF NC53 health effects on here. You guys, with filters you guys work with, a lot of these things are going to be ideal for the customer to have on there, but just kind of wanted to touch a little bit base on the filtration part. Now getting into a solution that is exclusive to Oasis. As you can see, Cryptosporidium, Giardia, E. coli, and another nasty word that we all don't like is going to be Legionella. There is a UVC LED light that we have in our bottle filler that we're able to offer. I'll go back to that on there, where we're able to offer, as you can see on here, this disinfects 99.99% of Legionella, Giardia, Cryptosporidium, and other pathogens that's in the water. Prevents and transfers and migrates back into the bottle filler. It's got a 10-year lifespan on the light, meaning that this thing uses very low power when it's being dispensed. So it stops water from dispensing also if the UVC light has failed, which it is a design inside there for it to not dispense if there is a failure to the board, to the actual unit. So no heat generated. As I said, it uses very low energy to it. Every 10 minutes, there's about a teaspoon that gets dispensed out. So the water doesn't sit stagnant inside the actual part of the quasar. So the next person that goes up to it is able to have clean water that's coming out. And especially within the systems on here, you're able to provide filtrations to it, and then even our green filters as well, which are going to be the filter stays housed inside there, and you just interchange the filter part inside. So we're able to provide hefty clean water that's going to be coming out of this. On here, as I just talk about, especially with the pathogens, with the UVC, so COVID recommendations on here, I'd like to talk to the UVC radiation has been shown to destroy the outer protein of this. Not saying that this is going to be a COVID prevented thing, but just kind of touching base on some things that how the UVC works and how effective it is on this. So this isn't going to be for everybody, but healthcare and education in certain areas as well where water's pretty bad is where it's going to be a good place to have a conversation, at least spark the interest with the end user. So the UVC also products, this can also be retrofitted on our competitors' units. This still uses and shares the same housing as our other bottle fillers and the other housing as well as the surface mount, also the recessed units as well on there. So this thing will fall through even with the same thing as our bottle filler, the original bottle filler that we have to offer. Next piece that I'd like to talk about on here is going to be our freestanding. This was originally designed for cruise ships before COVID hit. Cruise ships were buying these things, putting them on there next to either the ice machines, you would say. What's unique about this is that this is a unit that's just a bottle filler. Comes in a 10-gallon or 20-gallon units. You guys can get this filtered or non-filtered, and you can also build it in with the UVC as well. This is a good area or a good place to have a conversation on, when it comes to, say, cafeterias, gymnasiums, and especially to your office buildings. A lot of people have gotten rid of the service of having a water provider delivering water, and they're finding other solutions to that. So with this, you will need to have a drain and will need to have a plug or a water line that goes into this. That will be able to have that hookup. I've gotten some questions in the past of thinking this is a 5-gallon bottle point of use. So that's definitely having that knowledge on that you need to have those things for the hookups is definitely good to have. And again, like I said, it comes into a 20-gallon chiller, so high traffic areas, this thing will really produce the cold water. Contactless retrofit. So two things on this. On our units for touchless, where you're able to access the touchless part underneath our unit. So you swipe your hand underneath, which will activate the actual bubbler, dispense water. With ours that I like to talk about within our competitors, sometimes they will give a false sensor part that will read, that will dispense the water if people are walking past it. And that's where I like to talk about with ours, that ours, it won't have that false reading on there. And especially too with our contactless part on here, we're able to take up until 2005 on our units. We're able to remove the push button and convert it over to touchless. So if you have an end user that is very, very budget on money, they got a few-year-old or a 5, 6, 7-year-old unit of an Oasis, they're able to convert that over to touchless. So now they don't have to worry about having the end users or students touching the unit, and especially when you add the bottle filler to it. So we can convert this over to be budget friendly for them. Touch-free on here, as I talked, we have our recess mounts in the beginning, optional of 8, 12, and 20-gallon chillers, single units with or without the bottle filler. We offer sanitary water to supply, eliminate contacts on here. So we have a wide variety of options that we're able to provide. This is my favorite part about it, is going to be the tilt and tether. 2 bolts on the side will then lean the unit out. That's where you'll have access into the bottle filler. What this means is we can eliminate the actual filter that goes underneath our unit and then also our competitor's unit, and put the filter inside our bottle filler. So we are going to be able to not only filter our bottle filler, but we're able to filter the bubbler through that all in the housing. So if you think of the time that the end user that has now, especially with short staff, people can't find work or find workers, this will eliminate a lot of their time. So you don't have to take the bottom apron off, have to lay on the ground, and have to change the filter and whatnot. This is a quick 5-10 minute ordeal to be able to change out the filter and then be able to move on. What makes that nice on there is that when you have a school that has 30 plus of these units and you have 2 guys, 3 guys doing this, they're able to knock this out. And especially too when it comes time to having them look at the amount of time they're going to spend laying down and removing the filter, this is where time will come in, and they have other projects that they can work on. ADA compliant for our cane apron. So our cane apron is needed where water cooler is not installed in an alcove or within a right and left wing walls. So this provides mandatory 27 inches to the floor. This is ADA compliant and suitable for with the use of any bi-level models on this. So I'd like to talk, touch little points on this for our cane aprons. So our Vandal Resistant, comes with the resistant bubbler with the flexible guard. We also have a mechanical front push button on there. Also has the fenders on the side, and it's a heavy duty galvanized steel frame. Schools that really do damage to their units, this will hold up very well. 14 gauge is our stainless steel. Again, like I said, on there for the heavy duty part, still comes with the mechanical front push button and then the Vandal Resistant fasteners on that. And guys, that's all I have for you today.
Thank you, Will. Let me see here if we got chats. Let's see. So we got one question. Do these units meet a national standard?
National standard are for
That had to do with the unit that you had the bottle filler on.
yes, yep. That right there will meet.
So it was the one you showed that looked like it had been modified, and they were you could take a glass. It's more of a glass filler than it's a bottle filler. I wasn't aware that that one had a standard.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Back further.
There's only 34 slides, so.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about this one?
Nope. That one.
Oh, this one. I don't know. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the one of the other ones that we did on here. This one, I don't know. This
That
isn't.
looked like it was modified in the field.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this one is modified in the field. This is. I don't know what brand it is, but couple schools that I've been into, this is what they have converted over to. So again, that's why I'm asking you guys the question on here. Does this meet code? I don't know. I'm being told that this does not meet code.
In my view, it would not meet code simply because it has no standard that it's being built to. You took a unit that probably was code compliant.
Yeah.
You took off the bubbler and modified it, and there's no standard that allows you to do that. So therefore, it's not meeting a standard and not code compliant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely great feedback on there. I mean, I was with a gentleman this morning, and I asked, and his response was, yes, this does meet code, but again, I don't know how much I trust that with that on there.
I want him to show me the section where it says it meets code.
Yeah,
it's also a hazard in a school because kids are notorious for being able to dismantle or destroy things.
Yes,
that can break off there very easily.
Yes, there was a school up in Cleveland that I can say that I did where one of the students has ripped this off, and they had water on a Friday leaking all weekend on that, and that's just why I've had a couple people say, but this is good feedback to have on there, and I appreciate that. I'll definitely start having to dig in a little bit more with these guys on that.
All righty.
Is there any other questions on here?
Thank you, Will, and thanks everyone for jumping on today. This has been recorded. It'll be in our YouTube channel later on today if you want to share it with anybody or just to get a refresher. Hope you join us for our next class, which will be in August. I believe it's going to be over the Internet of Things. So yeah, until next time, hope you all have a good day. See you next time.
Thank you.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.